After getting very disappointed with the cheap Chinese front suspension and being very happy with the more expensive Konyk rear one with an air shock, and all of you posting down in the comments that I should get the Monorim, here it is, Monorim V2 on my front wheel with 165mm front shock. And I can tell you immediately, spoiler alert, the suspension is really cool. So now let's take it for a ride and see how it works. On a flat road like this, you don't really need a suspension because the road is perfect, especially if you have air tires, you don't really miss one.
But I really like exploring with my scooter, so I tend to take a little bit of road trips, and I also like to ride pump track, as you saw in the footage before, and then it gets so much more rougher. And in my belief, the Monorim V2, with the air shock at least, solves these problems for me and for my M365 completely. Just take a look at this slow motion image on this bad road, and you will see how suspension is perfectly balancing both the bumps and the drops of the front wheel. And the same I can tell for the rear one. So I really like my new setup today. I didn't try the stock shock absorber on the Monorim V2. Instead, I used a 165mm long double air chamber mountain bike entry-level shock absorber. Great thing about this shock absorber that it has not only adjustable rebound but also main and secondary air chambers, and I will need to play with these settings until I get them dialed in. Installation was pretty straightforward except the fact that I couldn't mount the fender, maybe because of the longer shock absorber, I'm not sure. With the stock one maybe it mounts just fine. But I had to print the new part. I will put the link into the Thingiverse file below. This part mounts on the fender and then you just hang that fender up like this, and I think it works pretty well. The only problem with it that it actually cracked because the mount of this shock absorber is a little bit shorter than I think intended in the design of the part, so it might need slight adjustments. For now it's cracked, but it's holding the fender. I'll keep it like this for a while and see if it doesn't fall off. One thing that caught me as a surprise was how heavy the nose of the scooter now is because of the extra battery, Monorim suspension and the motor itself. If I want to make a decent jump, I have to stand at the very back of the deck, and thankfully Konyk suspension allows a little bit more space there, but my 90 kilograms of weight actually on landings hits the rear suspension way more than the front one gets affected.
After riding on that pump track, I consider I need to switch the shock absorbers places because on rougher riding the rear one gets more beaten up than the front one. So I will most probably put the 165 to the back and whatever 150 to the front and see how that works. If you want to see and follow any further updates on my M365, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next video, guys. Bye!
You okay?
I'm okay. The scooter is okay as well. good.
What happened?
I lost control
Okay.
a little bit and I just let it go. Ah.